Hey guys, hope you're having a good evening. Coming back with another video. This one is going to be on planting a columnar dwarf apple tree. If you've never planted a dwarf apple tree, you're just wanting to learn a little bit more about them, this video is for you. There's going to be a lot of good information in it. We're going to kind of talk about how you want to plant a dwarf fruit tree. I'm going to go over step by step how I'm going to plant this one, what the difference between a dwarf fruit tree and a standard fruit tree is, and just kind of dwarf fruit trees in general too, a little bit of that. And then there's going to be some things in there. This is the 25th fruit tree that I've planted, and I've learned a few things the hard way along, so maybe I can help you guys out a little bit. Okay, so the columnar, it really kind of grabbed my interest when I seen it, because it doesn't have branches. What it really is a container plant. If you have a really small yard, you can put these up on a porch in a container. The spacing on them, I think, is about 2 foot. So, you don't need a lot of room. So that's a positive. With no branches, you don't have a lot of pruning to them, a lot of, work trimming them up and stuff. You don't have to stake them. So maintenance-wise, they're pretty good. Pretty much all dwarf fruit trees, you're going to get fruit 2 to 3 years. With a standard fruit tree, you got to wait about 8 years. So there's a big difference there. With pretty much all fruit trees, what you want to watch for when you're deciding what to get is some of them are self-pollinating, some of them aren't. This particular kind I got here is not. So if I just bought that, it's not going to bear fruit. You got to have at least 2 of them. Now, a tip here is a crabapple tree makes a really good pollinator for a lot of different varieties of apple trees. So if you think, in the future you're gonna maybe get more trees, check. A crabapple is a really good pollinator. Okay, so this is how this came, and when it came in the mail, I couldn't plant it right away. You want to keep the roots moist, okay? You want to keep it in a cool, dark place. I kind of made a mistake on that, started getting leaves. But you want to make sure the roots are moist. Now, let me show you what makes a dwarf fruit tree a dwarf fruit tree. This is probably the most important part of it. Right here, I hope you can see it. Right there is where they have grafted this, okay? So you do not want to cover that up with dirt. If you had dirt up to here, what is going to happen is this tree is going to turn into a standard fruit tree. So you don't want to do it. Now, the particular nursery that I got this from, and I hope you can see this, there's a mark right there. Now, it didn't say anything about it in the instructions, but I'm assuming they're telling you this is about as deep as you want to plant this. The general rule is 2 inches, okay? Now, there's a trick to this, okay? And I've made this mistake. You really want to err towards the low side, because like me, I've got real bad clay soil, so I'm not going to put that soil back in. I actually bought some dirt. So when I fill that hole back in, this thing is going to settle a little bit, because you really don't want to firm it down so hard and push on them roots. So you want to make sure you leave yourself a little bit, because you're probably going to have to come back and put a little more dirt on it. The reason for this is apple trees don't like to be in standing water. So when you plant it, if the top of your dirt is below ground level, that water is going to get on there. They like to be moist, but they don't like to be just soaking wet all the time. You want to put them in a well-drained place, you know, when you plant them, okay? Now, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get you down here, and we're going to start planting this thing. Okay, so I'm going to start out with a really good layer of compost. I'm going to put that in the hole, and I will firm that down a little bit. This is going to allow them roots to really get down into the ground and start spreading out, okay? So I just firm it down a little bit. Now, on these, you don't want the roots curled up when you put it in the hole, okay? That's really important. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get down here, and right there the roots are touching. Okay, so I'm a little bit above ground level right there. So I'm going to trim a little bit off of these roots. Not a lot. You can use regular scissors, whatever, but I'm just going to take a couple inches off and just kind of get them down. Maybe get a little more there. And then I'm going to check it again. And see, that's about right. So, now I want them roots nice and straight. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave that right there. I'm going to put some of my dirt in. And I'm just going to spread this around. And I want to try to keep it centered in the hole and keep it pretty much straight up and down. You know, that's the main thing. And you just, like I say, you don't want to really press down on it a whole lot. You just want to firm it up. So that's about it. At the end of this video, I'll take a picture of that mark, and I'll show you where that come out ground level. And maybe that'll help so you kind of get an idea of you know, the settling thing. Guys, I love fruit trees. I got a bunch of them. You know, I highly recommend going out and getting a couple. All right. Well, hey, that's the video, and I will talk to you guys later. And, you know, you guys have a good night. And thank you for everybody that has watched these. I really do appreciate you taking your time out and watching the videos. All right. See you guys later.